Here's the deal. This just blows me away as we welcome you to Post Game Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. My friend and colleague Ricky Vitalico, in a moment, John Kruk. This is only the third time. Phillies win, by the way, 6-1. They're 25-11. Ricky Bo, This is only the third time in the history of the franchise, and the first time was the very first year of the franchise, 1883, and the second time was 1976, that the Phillies have 25 wins or more in 36 games.
Well, this is not.
That's incredible.
This is not just a good team. This is a very good baseball team. I mean, when you look at them from top to bottom, they're finally playing like the paper. You know, we always say, well, on paper they look like this. They are playing like the paper right now. And you look at the starting rotation. You heard Whit Merrifield right after the game talk about the starting rotation, how good it's been. That's not a joke either, because you look at 1 through 4 at least right now, and then Spencer Turnbull. Those guys have really thrown the ball extremely well. Taijuan Walker's got to find himself a groove, or else who knows what might happen with that situation. But everybody can pick everybody up on this team, and that is a positive in any direction. Trey Turner's been out. You haven't even noticed.
You're right. We'll talk more about Trey Turner vis-a-vis the shortstop position. Let's bring in John Kruk, call today's game with Tom McCarthy for the crossover. John, it's one thing to talk about the pitching, but the hitting is almost as good, if not as good. They're averaging 7 runs a game just about during this streak that they're on, and it's a balanced attack, offense and defense, isn't it?
Yeah, if one doesn't get you, the next one will, and that's what makes it so difficult for teams, especially starting pitchers, to navigate through this lineup. And look, Black was good his first couple times through the lineup, but they got to him his third time through, and of course Bryce with the big 3-run homer. But this lineup has a potential to be lethal, and they are right now. But the starting staff, the bullpen, I mean, you're talking about a complete team, and I have some not so very intelligent friends that tell me, well, they need this, they need that, they need this. They don't need nothing right now. Now, if someone goes down for a long period of time, like a pitcher or something, you might, at the trade deadline, look into getting a pitcher. But, I wouldn't change a thing with this team, because the chemistry's great down there. They enjoy playing the game of baseball, but they enjoy playing with each other, and that's as important as anything.
John, we looked at Zack Wheeler in his last 2 starts. He looked very frustrated out on the mound. I mean, he didn't really pitch as poorly as he would think. What did you see today that was so impressive from him, because he was lights out?
Yeah, Rick, he attacked today. He was going after these guys with that 4-seam fastball. I think his whiff, I think he had 11 swings and misses on his 4-seam fastball. And to me, if a pitcher can navigate through a lineup with predominantly throwing fastballs, then your second time, third time through, and he starts mixing in all the other stuff, it's a pain in the neck. I mean, as a hitter. And, look, I think he and JT worked great together today. He was working both sides of the plate with his fastball, and his secondary pitches were a couple went sideways every once in a while, but, I mean, that's going to happen. But other than that, I mean, he's Zack Wheeler. I mean, he's one of the best in the game. And, it's a privilege to watch him pitch every 5th day.
Sure, yeah, John, you said 11. It was actually 13 swings and misses on 26 swings.
26
That's impressive.
swings. That is. John, they are 23-7 since they dropped the first 2 series of the season. They dropped 2 of 3 to Atlanta and 2 of 3 to Cincinnati, all of those at home, and they have been on a tear. Even if you include those series, they're on a tear. But 23-7 is a 766 win percentage. I know they're not going to get 124 wins, but how real is all this in your view when you take it in context?
Well, it's very real because the starting pitching. And, look, we thought this team would score runs. The sad thing about it is Trey got off to such a good start. Now he's going to be out for a while, but they're still going to score runs. That's just the way they're built. And, not many teams, when you lose your second hitter who was having that type of year, the start of the year as Trey was, and you can throw in your catcher who can hit second, steal bases, hit extra bases, hit home runs. It's just a complete team, and I don't think they're going to win 124. There's going to be some downtimes, of course, during a long season. But, you know,
it's incredible.
It's hard to describe how good they're playing right now.
You know what else? The only drama I have in my day now is trying to figure out what hat you're going to wear. Other than that, where's the drama, John? You know what I mean? Well,
I kind of enjoy it.
I do too.
Oh, Michael, hopefully you're getting sleep at night, not staying up and worrying about the squad, because the boys can play, man.
They sure can. They sure can. All right, buddy. We'll check you tomorrow. Right. Thanks so much, John Kruk, joining us from the ballpark.
He from the start of this game, he just stayed with what he had, used his fastball, especially when, like I said, when you're throwing 69 fastballs out of 102 pitches, you're not putting a lot into it. It's because fastballs are like the easiest thing to kind of do. It's like you're playing catch. He played catch with the catcher 69 times.
It was a beautiful thing to watch. How about Rob Thompson and his thoughts on today's Phillies win? Here he is post-game.
Probably his command and his fastball. Even, you know, he lost a little bit of velocity at the end there, but first 5 innings, 6 innings, I mean, he was throwing, had life to it. He was getting above barrels. I thought he was really good.
Does it feel like he's maybe even pitching at a little bit higher of a level right now than what he's done even the last few years?
I've always thought he was pretty good, but yeah, I think he's really throwing the ball well. His command has been really, really good all year, for the most part.
At shortstop, the ball finding him right away in the first inning.
Yeah. It was good. You know, he made the throwing error, but that had nothing to do with him playing shortstop, really. But, yeah, he looked solid. What do you have? How many ground balls do you have? A couple?
Yeah.
Turned the double play in the first inning, which was a big double play, got us out of that inning. And, yeah, he looked fine.
And this is an opportunity, I guess, for Witt to play a little more, too, right?
Sure.
I mean, he's been coming through the last week or so. You've seen better at-bats from him.
Really good at bats, yeah. That's the guy that, you know, that we've seen for many years. He's just good at bats. He grinds. He uses the entire field. He can play small ball. He can bunt. He can hit and run. He can do a lot of different things and play anywhere on the diamond. He's a baseball player.
I'm sure you guys Bryce is pulling the ball, but I think he has said before that if he's going to left center a little bit, he knows that he's going good. A couple of not just the home run, a couple balls he's hit to left center. Do you kind of sense that he might be onto something?
Yeah, I think so. You know, that should be his target all the time. It's like Casty. Casty should be to right center, which he gets a big double. Casty on base 4 times today. So I thought our offense was good today. Harper, obviously the big home run, but in the, when did we score first? 4th inning, 2 out, nobody on. Great at bat from Castellanos. Great at bat from Stott. And then Witt comes through with a base hit to left field. So get us on the board and get some momentum. And then we come right back the next inning and scored 3.
So much of the last few years, like, you've had to make sure you guys don't get like too low during the season, right? When you guys start out slow. So how do you make sure they don't get too, I don't want to say complacent, because it's early May. Do you have to guard against that?
I don't think so. Not with these guys. These guys are highly motivated. You know, I just remind them to stay humble and just play the game. That's it. Just do your thing. Don't try to do too much. Just do your thing.
What's your impression of Mason Black? Grew up a Phillies fan. Just curious what.
Yeah, I thought he was good. You know, he's kind of funky arm action, so it was tough to pick up. And his slurve was pretty good, and he looked very composed out there, very poised.
I think that's one of those guys that, you know what, tick-tock, tick-tock, get him going, and all of a sudden, you know what, things look even brighter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's been happening right now. You look at Bryce Harper, he's just warming up.
He's just
Schwarber, just starting to warm up.
Castellanos,
Trey Turner was carrying him for a while. He goes down, now everybody else wants to carry him.
chipping in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's Zack Wheeler? Zack Wheeler had to hold the fort here with the lead. Here he is post-game.
That honestly, like I said, I'm just doing the same thing as I've been doing, just having the results.
What felt sharper today than last week or the last couple?
Fastball was good. I felt like it was true. Had good spin. I was able to locate it for the most part, and JT called a great game.
You guys in the last few years have had to kind of scratch and claw by the time you get to June. So when you get off to a start like this, how do you make sure that there isn't complacency, that there is, you know?
Yeah, I just think we, you know, it's not fun clawing back like you said. So kind of made an emphasis this year coming in, just start off a little better, and we've been able to do that. But you know, like you said, doesn't stop there. Got to keep going. You know, just got to keep guys healthy and play fundamental ball, and you know, everybody's got to do their job.
These guys have been scoring a lot early in games. You're a guy who attacks to begin with, but does that make you even more aggressive when you're pitching from ahead like that early in games?
No, I'm just going to do the same thing I normally do. Just go right after guys and just try to get quick outs.
You see Bryce heating up a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
2 homers last 2 games, but he's also been walking a lot, so maybe see the ball better.
Yeah, it seems that way. No, I can't speak for him, but just watching, yeah, I mean, he's not getting a lot of pitches in the zone, so you know, it's always tough for a really good hitter is to you know, lay off of non-strikes just because you're such a good hitter. You want to, you know, be that guy. So you know, this shows how good he really is to be patient up there and wait for his pitch.
When you have a better fastball, do you know it coming out of the pen, or do you know it maybe after the first few hitters? Like, when do you know?
I mean, some days it feels good. Velo's 93-ish. Some days it feels terrible, and the velo's 96 or whatever it may be. So it's just basically how it's flying out of my hand. If it's true, if I can see that, you know, going directly to glove side and not having any tail, that type of stuff, that's where I want to be, and that's the way I felt today.
What do you mean by true?
Just straight line for the most part. I mean, you obviously don't want it to be too straight because that gets hit, but you know, back in the day, my ball used to tell a lot more of a 2-seam. So as long as that's not there, sometimes it plays. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I have that in the game and it plays, and it is what it is for that day. But you know, I just want that true 4-seam spinning right and getting to the spot.
It's only 3 games where you're pretty happy with the way you guys have responded to Trey's injury. I mean, you won 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. He's a big part for us, but you know, it's what good teams do is next guy up, and you know, just wait for him to get back. But we got to take care of business while he's gone.
We've talked so much about, you know, the sweeper last year, the splitter this year.
Yeah.
When you can ride that fastball and kind of be a power guy, does that sort of take you back in a way?
Yeah, I mean, it's my bread and butter. Throwing a 4-seam, you know, up in the zone and being able to throw it down also in and out. So, yeah, I mean, you can have all the off speed you want, but you got to be able to throw your fastball with command and you know, confidence.
If you into that process, what's about the efficient of the start you had today? How efficient did it feel for you today?
Efficient, yeah. I mean, I would like to go a little deeper, but I mean, that's everybody's goal, right? But going 7 strong innings, that's perfectly fine with me. You know, let the bullpen take over. You know, they did their job.
Things kind of come along for you now, and consecutive recent starts, feel more and more where you want to be at this point.
Yeah, feeling good, feeling strong, feeling healthy. That's all I can ask for.
All we can ask for from you, Zack Wheeler. Ricky Bo, I love the insight. Anytime an athlete of that pedigree can explain how it's done, I'm all ears. And what he really fascinated me with was Bryce Harper. Listen to this quote. He's not getting pitches in the zone. Always tough for good hitters to lay off on non-strikes. You want to be that guy. Shows how good he is to be patient and wait for his pitch.
Yeah, and he's waited for a couple pitches here in the last couple of days. The one thing about Bryce Harper, you have to know. I mean, and I'm sure he knows it at this point in his career that he's not going to be fed fastballs down the middle of the plate. So what do you have to do? You either got to pick a piece of the plate that you want to swing at, and then don't worry about what type of pitch, or you look for a certain pitch and go get it. I mean, that's the only way to play this game. That's why you saw him. He went and got a first pitch fastball sinker that was out over the middle of the plate and hits into the seats. That's making a decision right away.
And it was great to see Wheeler observe that. The other thing is he talked about his 2-seam versus 4-seam. He said, hey, my 4-seam's my bread and butter. I love being able to ride it in and out of the zone. The 2-seam kind of, it depends on the day.
Because it'll disappear on you. Sometimes you get a little bit too much movement. Sometimes you know, let me put it this way. On a sinker, you could get different kinds of movement. You could get straight down. You can get a little bit of run to it, or you get all run to it. So that's 3 different types of pitches that it just depends on your arm angle and where you are with your fingers on top of the baseball. And with the four-seamer, it's a true ride. And that's why he likes his four-seamer. That's why he could spot his four-seamer, because he's going true ride. I'm going outside corner, and I'm going to dot it. Okay, I'm going up top, dot it. Going inside, dot it. And that's the way he pitches. I will say this much. I think he could go a whole game of throwing all four-seamers when he is on, with pinpointing his location. I think he could just throw four-seamers at the big league level.
He was on today, and then lastly, he talked about what Rob Thompson talked about, the complacency that they addressed as a team in spring training, coming out strong. I don't know why they didn't do it the past 2 years plus, but they talked about it this year as a team, and bingo, here it is.
You get things out in the open, it's easier to play. I mean, any time with anything you do, and with 26 guys, you've got to get everything out in the open. And I think just the reasoning and the thought process of each game counts. We heard Bryce Harper say it. When you know that each game actually does count, then maybe you play a little differently in those games.